Hi. The baby just went down for a nap, so I thought maybe I'd have time to make a video today. And cross your fingers for me here. So I was at a restaurant the other day, and every time I'm at a restaurant, I think about how people are eating, not only what they're eating, but how they're eating. Because eating is a practice. By definition, it's something we do 3 times a day, at least, usually, a lot of times more. And something we do that often, we are practicing one thing or another while we're doing it. So eating can be a practice of presence and clarity and awareness, or it can be a practice that supports dumbing down and fogging up and literally going to sleep. So if you really think consciously about what kind of a practice you want your eating to be, it can help kind of guide what and how you eat. So what you eat, if you're on here because you're interested in raw vegan foods, the what is pretty easy because raw vegan foods automatically promote clarity and health. They cleanse your system. They really provide an atmosphere of just really clear thinking, and there's no brain fog and all of that. When I stopped eating wheat, I didn't even know how much brain fog I was in every day. And I stopped eating that, and I had so much more clarity and so much more presence. So these are the things that make our lives better. And in my case, that's just how I want to live my life. I want to be clear, I want to be present, I want to be healthy in all ways. And like everything else, eating is something that has a double level. It's just something we do every day, and then there's a deeper level as far as what it represents for us, and just what the practice is, what we're practicing every day. So if we're choosing very consciously how we want to do that practice, and you're eating, like I said, raw vegan foods or more raw vegan foods in your diet, that's fantastic. There's another aspect of it, which is how we eat. And that's so important too. There's a book called The Yoga of Eating, if you're interested, that's so fabulous, that talks a lot about this topic and more. But how we eat can also really support our clarity and presence and just enjoying our life in the moment. And if you eat in that way, you're eating slowly, you're noticing what you're eating, you're tasting what's in your mouth, you're noticing the texture and the smell, and if it's something you're picking up, maybe how the food feels. So you're really taking in the entire experience of eating, rather than what a lot of us do is standing up at the kitchen sink just like wolfing it down, right? You can also create really an amazing practice around getting your food ready, and then also where and how you eat it. So if you're creating a intentional practice for how you're getting your food ready, that's amazing, because it lets you get in the moment. I really enjoy making food. Making food is meditative and creative for me, and I love that process, and I love when I take the time that it really asks of me to do it right. And another thing is when you're taking your time and making the food and getting the ingredients together, and you're really using whole foods and healthy ingredients, your body is in that time also getting ready to digest and process that food. Whereas if you're just grabbing something at a fast food restaurant, or just in general, you're not even making your food, your body doesn't get that chance to do that. So that's amazing right there. A lot of people don't know that. If you want to create kind of a sacred space to eat also for you and your family, what a beautiful addition to your practice, right? Just setting out beautiful plates and napkins. Maybe you have a special tablecloth, or even just a placemat, a glass that you love, silverware you love. Really making all of that intentional, and using things that you love can really deepen the practice of eating in a direction that's intentional and that really supports all that wonderful stuff I was talking about earlier, clarity and health. So a lot of people will say in moderation, right? Everything in moderation. And I think this is one of those things, eating is one of those things that you don't necessarily want to invite moderation in, right? You don't want to have moderation in eating poison. I'll just eat a moderate amount of poison. Or I'll just kind of moderately take time to eat my food, which means you're not really present. You're not really looking at the ingredients. You're not really putting all of your attention on that. And then it's really not a practice. So I'm suggesting for this week to really look at your practice of eating and maybe think a little bit about or just be with what you've been practicing in the past. Kind of look at that. And then think about, what do I want to be practicing 3 times a day or more? What do I want that to look like? What do I want that to support? And you can go further too and talk about, what do you want to support as far as factory farming or farming practices, organic practices? All of those things can be supported or not supported, depending on how you choose to eat. It's really a huge global choice you're making every time you decide what to put in your mouth. And it's something that everybody does, so it's an easy one to start with. So I have a challenge for you for this week, in addition to looking at how you've been doing the practice of eating. And that is, every time you pick up something to eat, really be with it. Sit with it for a moment. And like Marie Kondo says, if you're familiar with Marie Kondo's life-changing magic of tidying up, I've been really excited about that book. Kyle and I have been doing that. And you can also do it with food. So each thing you pick up, does it spark joy in you? Is it something that you feel good about eating, that your body really wants to eat? When you just kind of sit with it and have a calm moment, your body will, as it starts to get cleaner and cleaner, tell you what it wants you to eat and what it doesn't want you to eat. Believe me, this is absolutely true. We get back to our internal GPS that tells us what is healthy for us. And this is one of those ways to do this, to take time and a little bit of preparation and a little bit of intention and a little bit of love and beauty. And like I said, don't do this in moderation. Really go all out if this speaks to you, and get out the china even if you want to do that. So the challenge is to pick up the food, really notice how you feel in your body about it. And if you don't have any feeling about that yet, don't worry, that will come with time. The cleaner your system gets, the more clear that signal will get for you. So I hope that's useful for you. Eating is such a beautiful practice when we create that for ourselves, and I invite you to do that. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.